Okay.
All right.
So where did I go with this? Okay, seatbelt's on. Fuel shutoff valve is on. Cyclic collective friction is, take that off. Checking the range of motion. That's free. Okay, throttle. That's good. Okay, collective friction. Make sure it's moving a blade. That's good. Okay. Pedals. Okay. Landing light is off. Governor. This is on.
Yeah, on, and if you forget ever, there's also a placard down.
Oh, governor on. Okay, yeah. Good. Okay, so governor is on. Circuit breakers are in. Carb heat is off.
Go ahead and unlock it too. There.
Okay. Mixtures forward. Mixture full ridge. Mixture guard. Mixture full ridge guard on. Primer. We don't have a primer.
Yeah, no primer this
Clutch.
Disengage.
Clutch is disengaged. Altimeter. Well, do we have to get ATIS?
We will. For the time being, we can set it to 50 feet since that's where we know that we're at, and we can adjust it more.
Okay, rotor brake disengaged. Do you have to prime it?
We shouldn't right now. Usually the first start of the day.
Okay, but it's already been running.
Especially when it's cold, but the engine should still be warm enough to start normally for us.
Okay. All right. Throttle. Okay, so throttle.
Throttle verify closed. So we'll roll it in the detent, and then we'll just let it come back to its resting position there.
Wait, where's the detent?
The detent is that spring that you feel when you roll further. You can feel how it wants to spring back.
Oh,
so
this?
The detent
that?
is just, so rolling into the detent, the function that has is to disconnect the correlator.
Yes.
Which is that piece that normally moves the
that's
throttle
that little
and
spring
lower.
at the end, that.
Yeah, so that's what that is.
Okay.
And idle is just
Short
at
of
that. Yeah, just at the edge of that. So if you roll into the detent and then just let it come back to where it likes to sit, that way you can verify the throttle's closed. And
oh, wait a minute. Okay, off the
Yeah.
throttle. Let me just check that. Okay, so that's the detent.
Yeah, and then just keep your hand on it.
Oh, okay.
And let it come back.
Okay, so that's the normal.
Yeah, you
Okay.
just want to make sure it stays against that stop. If you start the engine with an open throttle, the engine, as soon as it lights,
It's going to overrev.
Yeah, it will overspeed.
And then we'll have a 622 Sierra Alpha problem.
Yeah, or something similar. Slightly different
Wait a minute,
circumstances.
so open, that's open.
That's
okay.
open.
Okay,
That's closed.
That's
into
the detent.
detent.
Are you, okay, so you go into the detent when you go to, like, if you're doing auto?
Yeah, or
You go roll into the detent?
yeah, if you're doing a full down auto rotation, you have to use the detent, and that's why it's included.
But normally you wouldn't. I mean, if you're just doing a power recovery.
Because because the collective is down far enough that it's not raising the RPM. But
okay, because the correlator is going to be working.
But if you don't advance the throttle at the end of an auto rotation after when you do your power recovery, if you bring in the collective, the correlator will bring the RPM up already.
Oh, okay.
So if you're going all the way a full down auto rotation to the ground, then you need it in the detent to prevent.
Because you don't want it to, when you pull the collective, you don't want the engine to come back up. Okay. I mean, full down auto practice with the engine still running.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Or for example, you might have to do one of those if you had a tail rotor failure.
Okay.
So you would want to be able to use it in that circumstance too.
Okay. All right. So master switch on.
All right.
Okay. Wait a minute. So we rolled.
Yeah. So we'll
You check that. Into the detent.
And then we'll just let it come
back.
Right,
Okay.
right
All right.
there.
All right. Throttle closed. Master switch on. Checking the area. Your side clear. Clear?
And the strobe light as well.
Turn strobe on. Okay. Ignition switch.
And then pin the cyclic there between your legs so it doesn't go anywhere. Everything else should be sitting still.
Okay.
Alright, and we are good to start. Alright, so immediately after engine start, we're looking for our starter light to go out. Engine RPM should be good, manifold pressure coming down, oil pressure is good, then we're going to engage the clutch and the alternator. Go ahead and do both of those things.
The alternator.
And the clutch. This clutch gets pulled forwards, just like that.
Oh, okay.
There we go. So as soon as the clutch is engaged, you can see now the blades are going to start turning.
Okay.
And all those items they're one after another on the checklist, but they all happen
At the same time. Okay.
pretty
Because oil
quickly,
pressure
all
has to
in
come
one
up.
big flow. Good start. Let's go to the head tips. All right. All right. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay? All right.
Got you loud and clear.
All right. Clutch light. Okay, so we're waiting for the clutch light out.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the clutch light out before we take our next step. In the meantime, though, we can jump ahead and we'll start getting the avionics going. So we have our top radio. We have the second item is a GPS/ radio and our transponder on the bottom. And we'll just get all those turned on. Transponder is controlled with this dial here. There's on and there's an altitude position. Go ahead and turn it all the way to altitude. The only difference between the two is you can see if we turn it to on, it's showing a squawk code, but if we turn it to altitude, now it also reports our pressure altitude to any radar that's pinging us.
Oh, okay.
And that's required anytime that we're within the 30 nautical mile ring of a Bravo airport. So since we're near San Francisco, that's required.
Okay.
Anytime that we're in the lateral boundaries of Charlie airspace, which we also are.
So mode C veil.
Yeah, mode C veil. So that's what the mode C refers to, is just it has that additional
Altitude.
altitude that shows up.
Okay.
And then this one here, this little knob is on and the volume for the radio.
Okay.
We have two comm setup. Comm 1 is this top, comm 2 is the bottom. You can select either or with this dial here.
Temperature 1.
Or you can select which ones you want to listen to with these here. So we can leave it on 1, we can click 2 up, and that way we're hearing number 2 and number 1 at the same time. And since we're still selected number 1, if we click the radio, we'd still be transmitting on 1.
Okay.
So this is listen and transmit, and then clicking either of these up
Is receive.
Is receive, in
Okay.
addition to what's selected on here.
Okay. And what's the ground frequency?
Ground,
Or is it the same? Is ground and tower same?
ground here is 121.4. However, we do not have to talk to them usually
Okay.
because we're a helicopter.
Okay.
Go ahead and press enter on here. Right now the GPS is telling you what database it has inside of it. It's a little bit old, but that's alright. Airports don't move. The new ones come out, and that's used for instrument ships. A lot of no changes to instrument procedures, stuff like that. But that doesn't concern us because we're not using this helicopter for instrument training. So how old the database is doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Hayward Tower, good morning, Falcon 805 Delta Bravo, holding short runway.
Alright, if you wanted to change either of those frequencies, you can press the cursor button there, and that will select, you can see a highlight box pop up on the screen. So right now it's on there, and then these knobs can be used to change that frequency just the same as the knobs up on the radio. And if you press the cursor button more, it'll just move it around the screen, and it'll eventually cycle back to there.
Okay. So this is the, is this the one you're transferring?
Yeah.
This is the standby?
That's the standby, this is
Okay.
the active, same as up here, this is active, this is standby.
Okay, and is this the one that's changing between
Yeah, exactly. So if you punch that over, that
Okay,
swaps them back and
interchange.
forth.
Okay. All right. So I'm not really hearing. Okay, so which?
Right now we're on COM 1, so we're listening to 120.2, which is Hayward Tower.
Oh, okay.
Just no one's talking to them right now, so that's why we're not hearing anything.
Okay, is 126?
Yeah, 126.7 is our ATIS, and you'll see it's it's plugged in here and here. So you have two options. You can either swap over and listen to it there, or you can switch to COM 2 and listen to it down there.
Okay. Okay, so the clutch light is out.
All right.
So gonna roll up to about 7.
Yeah, we'll go up to 75.
Falcon 5 Delta Bravo, didn't get an update from NorCal. There's at least one arrival, maybe 2, but hopefully we'll get you going about 5 minutes.
805 Delta Bravo, standing by.
Okay, then when we get to 80, the governor's going to take over, and I want to dampen because it's going to raise the throttle kind of more rapidly. So I'm going to kind of try to restrain it a little bit.
If it went up there, you could just roll it down. But for our typical warm-up RPM, we'll keep it around 75 there, so the governor won't activate until we hit that 80%. Yeah.
Okay, so
average 10 minutes. It can get up to
engine
about 20 or 30,
gauge is
but you get about 5 minutes.
the engine gauge is green. How long do you warm up for at?
So we go. So the one that you're always waiting on is a cylinder head temperature.
Okay.
And that's one that you want to get into the green, or you want to at least wait about 2 or 3 minutes. But I mean, usually by the time that gets in the green, it's been more than that anyways.
Okay.
So you just want to wait.
So right
for
now
that
it hasn't really moved yet. So you want to kind of see that it's more in the center.
No, so it'll start at the very start. It'll start all the way past the white.
Okay, so it's
and
moved a little
as soon as it's inside the green area,
Oh, okay.
that's how you know that it's warm and ready to go.
Okay. How far in the green do you want it?
Just in the green is the only definition. So if you can, fully outside the white is what I'd say.
Okay. Okay, then how do you figure on the mag drop? How do you figure 7%?
So we're gonna go. Well, right there is 75.
Right.
So we see you can guess about what 2% is below 70 there, and it's pretty uncommon that we'll see it even drop that far.
2%. Wait a minute.
So 7% total, and we have.
Is that like one line or something? No.
Yeah, one line. Yeah, so just from 75% where we're at, one line below 70 is that 7% spacing.
Oh, okay.
And you're looking for, it can go below that just as long as you have in 2 seconds, it doesn't go below that.
Okay.
All right. So go ahead, if you're ready to do that, reach up, do the mag check. You'll click first to left, count 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, and watch, and then go back to both. So 1 click,
1,000, 2, 1,000.
All right.
So that drops a little bit, but
yeah. So then we'll adjust it here. I'm on the throttle right now, just bringing us back to 75. And now you're going to count 2 clicks, 1, 2, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, and then we'll see where it ends up.
Oop.
Oh, go ahead. All right, there we go. All right. So right now you are on just the right mag, left mag, and now both. So you went a little bit far. So just click 1, 2, and then count 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, and then count 1, 2 back.
1, 1,000, 2.
All right. There we go.
Okay, carburetor heat.
Yeah, so go ahead and pull carburetor heat up to check that. And we're looking for 2 things. We're looking for a rise in carburetor temperature, and we're seeing a drop in RPM as well. The drop in RPM occurs because we're introducing hotter air to the engine, which is less dense, which gives us decreased performance.
Okay.
Falcon 5 Delta Bravo.
So we see that.
12605, runway to the left.
Okay.
Doing what we expect it to do.
Clear for takeoff, runway 28 left, 805 Delta Bravo.
All right.
Okay, and then the Sprague clutch check.
Yeah, so for the Sprague clutch check, that's when we're checking for separation of the needles. So we'll go up to about 75, and then we're going to have you grab with a palm up grip. So your hand is going to be there. Exactly. You're going to roll thumb towards you off, like that, and you can see separation of the needles.
Okay.
And that just tells us that that clutch is working correctly, and that in the event of engine failure, it wouldn't bind or slow the rotors down.
Right.
The rotors will continue to spin freely after that.
Okay, coming back up to 75.
All right.
All right, doors.
Doors closed
Closed
and latched.
and latched. All right. Okay, limited. So the manifold pressure limit. So do we have to know what the temperature is?
We do, and we get that from right down here.
Okay.
We can toggle between Fahrenheit and Celsius.
Okay, so
But since our
18.
charts are in Celsius, we'll keep it there. Yeah, so we look, we're at sea level, so we can count over. There's 10, there's 20.
Oh, okay.
We're just a little bit below 20, so just,
Maybe 22.5 or something.
yeah, 22.5. And then
Okay.
that's for our max continuous, and you can see down here for max takeoff power, add 0.9 inches. So we have 22.5 and 23.4 for our max 5-minute power.
23. Okay, 22.5. Okay. All right. Okay, cyclic corrective friction on.
All right, so this is the part, we do the rest of the checklist from memory. There's just a couple steps left. The frictions will come off. We'll roll up to 80. The governor will carry it the rest of the way. And then we'll do our low rotor RPM check. So go ahead and tuck the checklist away now.
Okay, am I
is
going to leave the cyclic friction still on?
Yeah, cyclic friction is on right now, but we're getting ready to fly.
Okay.
So that's why we're putting it away and we're getting our hands on the controls.
Okay, we still have the cyclic friction on then? While you're doing the run up?
While you're doing the run-up, yeah, so cyclic friction's on, and then right here is when it's going to come off. You want the frictions off before the RPM goes above 80%.
Okay, all right. Okay, so now I can take it off now then?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so collective friction's off, cyclic friction's off.
Okay.
So go ahead and just gentle roll to 80, and the governor will carry it after that. Just a little bit more, and then it'll take over. There it goes. And you can let go, the governor will manage itself. Alright, there we are.
Do we need to let the clutch? Oh, the clutch is going to be tension.
It'll normally, as soon as we reach that 100% RPM range, the
Okay.
clutch will come on for a couple seconds just to retension the belts.
Okay.
That's pretty normal.
Now, during the daytime, do we turn nav lights on during daytime?
We do not need the nav lights during daytime. Nav lights come on, are legally required from sunset to sunrise.
Okay.
Those specific times.
Okay.
Or it might also be a good idea to turn them on if we have reduced visibility or it's starting to, for whatever reason we want someone else to be able to see us better.
Okay, same idea with the landing light.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right, so now we're going to do our low rotor RPM check. To do that, I'm going to have you raise collective just about an inch off the ground. There's a switch that's depressed,
Oh, okay.
and we have to raise off that switch in order for the horn and light to work. So
Okay.
there's good. And now just a real slow roll off down to 97%, and you'll see that horn and light come on there. After that happens, you can just let the governor do its thing again. It'll carry it back up. There we go. That's all there is to it.
Okay.
All right. Since we're close to that plane, I'm going to get us up and away to start with. Feel free to follow along on the controls with me, but I have them. Oh, and we need our ATIS information still. Let's punch over there. We'll listen to that on our way out. Okay. Oh, sorry. I pressed it too.
340 at 4. Visibility 10. Sky conditions clear. Temperature 16, dew point 6, altimeter 3015. Visual approach only 211, use landing and departing runway is 28. Notice to airmen. Caution for numerous cranes in the immediate vicinity of Hayward airspace. Check NOTAMs for more information. Attention, all aircraft has weather information for Northern California and coastal waters available on high Western flight service frequencies. Advise on initial contact, use information, Charlie.
Okay, would you punch the radio back over for me? Alright. Tell you what, go ahead and hop on the controls. Alright. You have the controls?
Oh, all right, have the controls.
You have the controls. Go ahead and hover us here if you can. And I'm going to make a radio call.
Okay.
Hayward Tower, Victor 290 Sierra Hotel at Meridian with Charlie. Request air taxi, spot Charlie. Go ahead and just keep us on this side of the line if you can.
Sierra Hotel 12707-73016, air taxi, spot Charlie.
Air taxi, spot Charlie, 00 Hotel. Okay, so we're going to start what looked kind of like a takeoff run.
Okay.
And I'll kind of guide you through this on the controls.
So I'm not hearing the tower. I didn't hear the tower very loudly.
He was talking a little bit quiet.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna go this direction, and we're gonna head on down to spot Charlie.
Okay. There's a vehicle to the left of.
Yeah, they'll be off the side. They're doing their own thing.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna cruise just like this. This is an air taxi, so it's about 40 feet and 40 knots.
Okay.
And we'll just keep coming down towards the spot. Have you done normal approaches yet?
I've done a few.
Okay, so once we get close, we're just gonna fly just a normal approach into the spot. All right, so about here we'll start slowing up. And a little bit lower on the collective. We're bleeding that airspeed. Coming in, pedals to keep us in trim. And we're working the collective as required to keep ourselves on a straight line in towards the spot. And as we drop out of forward flight, forward pull on collective, left pedal as we need it, and then cyclic just to stabilize ourselves. All right.
Okay.
You have the controls?
I have the controls.
You have the controls. All right. Let's look. This is looking good. Go ahead and give me a left 360-degree pedal turn, if you would.
Okay, clear left.
You are cleared left.
Clear right.
All directions are clear.
Is there wind today?
There is a little bit. You have about 7 knots. So you'll start to feel it, but it's not going to be anything super crazy yet.
Okay.
So you can feel it a little bit playing with your tail as you do your pedal turn.
Okay.
All right. Let's go ahead and do now one to the right.
Okay, clear left. Clear right.
Cleared left and cleared right. On our way around. There you go, so now I can feel the wind. See just a little bit of left there to balance it out. And you can see it knocked you into a little bit of there's a little bit of an oscillation there, but you're recovering just fine.
I'm gonna go turn north again.
Sure. Yeah, just go ahead and take us back to the spot and we'll do it again. One of the other things that you run into when you're doing pedal turns like that is that if you have any sort of wind, it'll well, the most noticeable part is that it will start messing with your tail and make it harder or easier to turn the helicopter as you reach different positions on the clock. And the other thing you'll see as well is that right now you're having to push forwards to keep yourself into the wind. But after you turn to the side, you'll have to be pushing sideways to keep yourself into the wind. And then as you reach back, a little bit backwards. And then sideways again as you continue around. There you go, very nice. So it's just it's this constant coordination on all the controls.
Okay.
The positions are changing as you go around the whole circle. Well done.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and give me a set down here.
Oh.
Oh, there you go. Once you're down, go ahead and commit to it there. All right. Well done. Go ahead and give me a pickup. A nice slow 2-stage pickup, so you're going to raise until you start to see movement. You're going to fix it.
Okay.
You'll raise, you'll see movement, you'll fix it. And if you're following that process enough times, by the time you actually get up off the ground, the cycle will be in the right spot for a hover, and it'll just come straight up, and it'll look real clean.
Okay. Okay, coming up on the collective.
All right.
Okay, lights out, top of the green, 3 in the green, fuel, RP.
I'll
RP,
pull
we can
just
pull a little
touch,
bit.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay, picking up.
All right, so you see movement there, so go ahead and fix it. There we are. All right, go ahead and give me just a little bit more hover height here. All right, so you saw we got up. We didn't have any sliding side to side. My one recommendation to fix about that is just to take a little bit slower and a little bit more procedurally.
Okay.
The whole, the smooth one motion pickup will come with time.
Okay.
But right now what you want to focus on is just...
Stop everything.
Yeah. Once you see movement, stop raising the collective, leave it where it is, then fix it.
Oh, fix it.
And then raise, see where it wants to do, then fix it. And then that way, ideally you shouldn't have any sideways movement at all as you transition from the ground up into a hover.
Yeah. Sideways and bad is bad. Back is bad.
All right, go ahead and give us just a touch more hover height. We want about 3 to 5 feet, and then go ahead and take us back to the spot if you would.
Kind of bouncing a bit here.
Maybe just a touch more up collective. There you go. Alright, we'll do a set down here.
Okay, set down.
So for the set down, it's just eyes outside, just keeping a nice stable hover just like you're doing. And you're not feeling for the ground at all, you're just gently bumping the collective down.
Kind of lost it there. I'm going to back up a little bit.
Yeah, those things happen when you're learning. It's good that you recognize when you start to lose it. And when that happens, all you got to do is just give a little bit more up collective, reset yourself, look outside, let yourself get calmed down, and try again. Alright, so eyes outside, just using pedals for heading, keeping yourself in a nice relaxed hover, and then just a little bump down on the collective, little bump down, little bump down. And then once you're on the ground, that's when you seat it. There you go, nicely done.
Okay.
Alright. Let's do one more pickup here.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna just get it light.
Yeah, so you're raising until you see any movement at all.
Okay.
If it starts to twist, correct for that with pedals. If it starts to kind of jitter one way or the other, correct for that with cyclic. And then as it gets lighter, the amount that it wants to move it'll start to move easier and easier. So if you're off center on any of the controls, it'll start to show.
08 November, don't do it, left full length, right crosswind departure.
Alright, so stop raising there and you can see where it wanted to go. So give us a little bit of pedal to fix it, and you can see we're jittering along the ground, so fix that with cyclic. And fix just a little bit back with cyclic too. Now raise and fix. There you go.
28 left, full length.
Nicely done. So you saw we came up just perfectly flat off the ground.
Right.
Not moving sideways, not moving forward and back. And that's because we took the time as we were coming up to see what the helicopter wanted to do, and we corrected for it before it had the opportunity to. Well done.
It's in the works.
That'll be nice.
Back up a little bit here.
Yeah, we're just about over the spot. You're only about 10 feet forward of center. Alright, tell you what. Let's go ahead and we'll do a couple traffic patterns. Just normal takeoffs, normal landings. Are you familiar with making the radio calls for that yet?
No, I haven't done that, but it would be something like Hayward Tower, helicopter, 29er, 0 Sierra Hotel, at spot Charlie, left close traffic for spot Charlie.
Yeah, that's all there is to it, and they'll come back to you with a readback or they'll come back with you with instructions, and they'll tell you helicopter 2900 Hotel, Hayward Tower, clear for takeoff, clear to land, spot Charlie, left traffic. Sometimes they'll tell you about another airplane traffic, flying over. If they tell you about and you're just going to read back whatever they tell you.
Okay.
So if they tell you clear for takeoff, you tell them clear for takeoff, spot Charlie. If they tell you clear to land, you tell them clear to land, spot Charlie. If you tell them both, you read back both. If they tell you about another airplane taking off, you can say either searching for traffic or traffic in sight, whichever one it is. You're just relaying back to them to so they can verify you got the correct information.
All right.
All right, so go ahead and make that radio call for us, if you would.
Hayward Tower, helicopter 290 Sierra Hotel at Spot Charlie, requesting left close traffic for Spot Charlie.
00 Hotel, Roger, use caution for the personnel and equipment. Just head into your left off the text, please do with south text, please do look clear for Spot Charlie, clear takeoff, clear to land.
I got it. Spot Charlie, clear for takeoff, clear to land, and caution for the workers 00 Hotel. All right, so we threw in something else. He warned us about those guys.
Okay, I'm not hearing them very well, but...
We'll see if that is a little bit better. I turned them up. All right, so let's start our takeoff run. So for that, we're just going to let the helicopter ease forward into forward flight. So just start to slide yourself forward along the ground.
Okay. Okay, lights out, top of the green.
Yeah.
Fuel, carb heat. Should I pull a little more carb heat?
No, we're good right now.
Okay.
When we're in the takeoff, we're in the takeoff. We'll worry about that in a minute. All right, so we're going to accelerate through ETL, pedals for trim. There we go. And we'll accelerate here and we'll climb out, and then we'll turn just outside these guys here. And down this way, you'll feel me pull just a little bit to guide you. Just right down this path is all we need.
Number off, contact north top.
Can you hear them okay?
See you later.
Or is it still coming in kind of...
It's a little better. Yeah,
okay.
It's better.
It might also be the volume option on your headset, too.
Oh, okay, well, I'll check that when I get back down. Okay.
All right, I got the carb heat now.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and make us a left turn here. So we're going to turn. In that direction, there's a big tan hopper.
Okay.
We're going to go ahead and fly us towards that, and that'll put us roughly on
Good.
parallel path.
Hayward Tower, 5275, 2800 over Dublin, coming in for landing with information Charlie. 5275 here, turn to right base, runway 2 right for Fort South Sam.
All right, we're going to do our downwind checks.
Coming for
So all of our lights are
Lights
out.
out.
report at
Fuel, and full carburetor heat for me.
5275, ident.
Okay, full carb.
We'll go ahead and
And we're getting ready to make our turn to base. Go ahead and lower collective for me, and we'll start in a
Traffic head
second.
into your right, 2 miles of Twin Star outbound, just past 3
Turn
crosses.
these guys down just a touch.
Stockton along the
All right,
582.
go ahead and turn me. There's a bright blue building with a white roof. Fly me directly towards that.
Roger, if you continue that head, it looks like it'll just be crossing in front of you.
All right, go ahead and sharpen this turn up a little bit. This is the mobile home park up in front of us. All those white roofs, we're not supposed to fly over them. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, looking good. And we want to see, here, we'll get ourselves around that corner of them. There we go, perfect. All right, want to see about 400 feet right here, which we have. So go ahead, we'll pull in a little bit of power so we don't descend quite as much anymore. And now we're just looking out towards the spot. And this is where our descent goes from looking at numbers to more of a visual, seat of your pants approach.
Okay.
So you're looking out at the spot, you're drawing an imaginary line from yourself to it, and you're trying to keep the helicopter on that line. So if the spot is moving up on the bubble, you want to use collective, pull a little bit collective to bring it back down. If it's getting a little higher, or it's getting lower, yeah, just use the collective to manage that. And then using the cyclic like the brakes in your car, just to gradually bring yourself to a stop. You don't want to just slam on the brakes at the start and then slowly cruise up. And likewise, you don't want to cruise up to the spot at 60 miles an hour and have to stamp on it, set off all your ABS trying to get in there at the last minute. That slow, smooth stop is what makes the whole process go better.
5 Roger, at 2 right or 2 left.
Alright, so you see the spot coming down, so give it a little bit of up collective there to keep bringing us forward.
Runway 2 right, clear to line, wind 007.
You're the best, thank you sir, to the right, clear to land 275.
You got it. You're doing alright. So you're into a hover now. So you got a little bit of oscillation. Just easy on the controls. Use those pedals to point yourself the way you want to go. And you just relax on the cyclic. There you are. Nicely done. Just go ahead and slide us over. And there's a little bit of wind messing with you as well. That's kind of what's tugging on our tail right now. And you can see the trim strings as well. If you look out in front, they were blowing across us. So there is definitely a crosswind coming from our 9 o'clock, and that's what was causing a little bit of that for you.
Okay.
But you've got it all sorted in our control now. Nicely done. All right.
Should I put the carb heat down or leave it?
Right now we can leave it.
Okay.
The carburetor heat, it decreases our performance by about 1 inch of manifold pressure.
Okay.
And because of that, we're actually, when we have full carburetor heat engaged, you can add another inch of manifold pressure to our allowable limit.
Okay.
To compensate for that. If we were really heavy, we might want to put it down to get that extra performance we needed if we were close to the red line.
Yeah.
But right now, it's not an issue for us. We can leave it for the time being.
All right.
All right. Do you have any questions about that? How any of the approach went, the pattern?
No, it just kind of got messy. So I was kind of, because I had to pull collective to get back into the hover power, and then I needed more left pedal, I suppose.
Yeah. So as you use more torque from the engine, you'll need more left pedal to counteract it.
Okay.
So that coordination happens between your feet and your left arm. So as you raise collective, you're going to also feed in the appropriate amount of left pedal as that happens.
So when we come through the ETL and then we get that shake, is that when you start pulling collective? Or,
yeah, so
or are you looking at the airspeed?
Yeah, so that shake tells you that you're half in, half out of your vortices. And that's telling you that basically as soon as you slow down beyond that transition period, that's when your performance goes away and you're back into that super heavy performance power. Induced flow is dragging you down because you're just stuck in your own downwash there. So when you're in on the approach, you typically want to hold on to those vibrations and ride them in until you get down towards the ground, until you get into ground effect, which is where you have that also increase in performance.
Oh, okay. So you want to stay in translational. Left as long as possible. Yeah,
as long as possible, and just until we get down right towards the ground.
Okay, closer to the ground.
Yeah.
Until you're in like a.
Yeah, exactly. Because right now, I mean, in this helicopter right now, we're fairly light. We probably have enough power to. We might not be able to hold the hover out of ground effect. We're not going to drop out of the sky. Some helicopters, though, they might be really heavy, weighed down, maybe at high density altitude. You might not actually be able to hover out there. So that's why you want to hold on to that performance, ride those vibrations in.
No problem.
All the way down into ground effect, where you also get your increased performance as well.
We have a lot of altitude. We're good. Very nice. Pretty good conditions there.
Let's go ahead and let's do one more pattern.
All right.
So I'll let you make that radio call again. Just wait until this conversation ends, and then you can jump in afterwards.
So do I do the whole N number, or do you just do like 0 hotel after?
So on
the first one.
Listen on the first one.
Yeah.
And typically you want to wait for them to shorten your call sign first. So I think they've been doing that, so we can just use 0 Sierra Hotel. So we'll say Hayward Tower Helicopter 0 Sierra Hotel, request left traffic spot Charlie.
Okay.
And that's kind of that's the condensed version of what you had said earlier. Either way works.
Hayward Tower, Helicopter 0 Sierra Hotel at spot Charlie, left traffic, spot Charlie.
0 Sierra Hotel, spot Charlie, clear takeoff, clear land.
Clear takeoff, clear land, 0 Sierra Hotel. Okay, lights out, top of the green, 3 in the green, fuel, carb heat.
On
the roll.
On the roll. There we go, so you're pushing through ETL there. Nicely done with the pedals to keep yourself in line, and now we got our 40 knots, so now let that pitch come up, and we're going to ride upwards, and then we're going to make our left turn just outside these guys, but still over the trail there. Little movements on the cyclic. Don't have to Yeah, there you are. Alright. Go ahead and pull a little bit more power. We'll keep climbing up through here. Alright. And on that last radio call, he didn't say anything about it because he understands what it is that we're doing. But typically when you get a landing or a takeoff clearance, there's also a location attached to that. Make sure you include that location in the readback so that they understand that you know where you're going. Because, for example, like if we're going to a runway, there's a big difference between clear to land 28 left and clear to land 28 right.
So just say clear takeoff, clear land, spot Charlie.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Alright.
I'm a little low on the airspeed, so I'll push forward.
Okay, let's do our downwind checks here.
Okay, lights out, top of the green, 3. Fuel carb heat is pulled.
Alright, we'll just verify that by giving it a little tug. And we'll go ahead and start our descent. We're just a little bit high at 700, so we got to work our way down. We want to hit about 400 there. So go ahead and give me a little bit more down collective here. Go ahead and roll out here.
We'll, 04 Charlie, runway 2 right, clear
we'll make this a little bit more square, and that'll give us more time to descend as well. There you go. And now I'll go ahead and turn final. Alright, so you can see we're coming up on the spot. We're just a touch high, but we can correct for that on our way in. Go ahead and start slowing yourself up with the cyclic. As soon as you slow down your airspeed, the time it's going to take you to get to the spot increases, so it gives you more time to work on your approach.
Okay.
So go ahead and, yeah, you're looking great right here. Just a touch more down collective will get us onto a nice glide in there. Perfect. Now you're just working your way towards that spot, keeping yourself at this angle with collective, and managing your rate of closure with the cyclic. Right now we're at a great airspeed. We're just bringing ourselves in. So you can see we're getting a little more shallow there, so that's where you need more collective to keep ourselves up. And we'll keep coming forwards. There's those vibrations that we would normally want to hold on to. There they are. So you can just a little bit tap forwards on the cyclic just to stay above those. Alright. Now we'll come up to the spot here, and then just let yourself down onto it. And just use your pedal to maintain that heading. There, easy with the collective. Smooth and controlled is what you're looking for.
Like,
yeah, go ahead and get us down a little bit further. That'll get you out of the wind. It tends to whip over top those buildings.
Oh. Is that the wind or is that me?
A little bit of both. The wind is throwing you off, and then you're not used to dealing with it, so you're responding a little bit incorrectly. I mean, not anything that's that you could point out and say is wrong. Just not exactly the right response. That feel will come as you just practice more. You get used to the wind and responding to it and keeping the hover straight. Hovering a helicopter is hard enough as it is when nothing external is trying to change what it is that's happening. So as soon as the wind starts getting thrown in there, it messes with your coordination. It makes the whole thing a lot more difficult to do, especially while you're learning. Alright.
Yeah, I'm going to go back.
Yeah, go ahead and take us back to the spot. You got about 30 feet to go.
So what should I have done on that very end there to keep from getting messed up?
At the very end, so you pulled in just a little bit too much collective.
Oh, okay.
So let yourself come down towards the ground, and don't worry quite as much about your rate of closure, because remember, as we get closer to the ground effect will increase exponentially, so it will prevent us from coming down. So you can see if we lower a little bit of collective here, you'll feel me push a little bit. We'll come down, but then we'll stop.
Oh, okay.
So likewise, when we're coming down at the very end of that approach, if you let yourself get down to within a couple feet of the ground, all of a sudden the helicopter is going to have a lot better performance, and you'll find yourself stopping there. So you will still need collective to stop yourself, but you don't need to do it quite as high, and you won't need as much as you would if you were higher, is what I mean to say.
Well, meaning, was I pulling collective too much at a, like was I too high when I pulled the collective?
The position, the time when you started pulling collective was right. You just pulled a little bit too much to start with.
Oh, okay.
It's more of a, don't think of it as an on-off switch. You know, we're in descent mode, and now, okay, I'm going to pull collective all the way up to hover. It's more of a gradual pull as you cut down towards the ground, just to slow your rate of descent.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions on that?
No, it was just really messy.
Yeah, that's perfectly normal. All right. Tell you what, let's do one more pattern.
Okay. Hayward Tower, helicopter 00 Hotel, at spot Charlie, requesting left close traffic, spot Charlie. I'm not hearing anything. Do you hear anything?
No, he hasn't responded yet.
Okay.
He's sleeping today. We'll give him another couple seconds and then we'll try again.
Aircraft call tower.
Oh, there we are. All right, say your call again.
Hayward Tower, helicopter 00 Hotel, at spot Charlie, left close traffic, spot Charlie.
Come 00 Hotel, spot Charlie, clear takeoff, clear land.
Clear takeoff, clear land, spot Charlie, 00 Hotel.
Yeah, he's just, no one else is talking to him, so he was distracted, I think.
Alright, so lights out, top the green,
All right.
fuel, carb heat,
Everything looks good.
Okay, clear left, clear right, clear above.
Don't pull too much power at the start there.
Need
Yeah, exactly. We're just easing into it. Yeah, once we get that airspeed is when we get that performance. So there's our 40 knots. So I'll just give us a little bit of pitch back to start to climb, and we'll hold 40 knots throughout this turn here. So just make our turn. Nicely done. All right, and then we'll come up and we'll make our turn to go in line with the railroad tracks once we're a little bit farther. We just want to stay over this open area to start with.
Oh, okay.
So in case of engine out, we have somewhere to go other than warehouse rooftop.
All right, turn left.
All right.
Clear left, clear right, clear above.
You are cleared left. And we're just going towards that big hopper out there.
All right. Am I trying to stay at 400 all the way around?
You're trying to go to 600, and then we're going to 400 when we turn base to final. Because we got to start a little bit sooner than our final turn, just because we have a short approach there.
Okay.
But 600 is our pattern altitude.
Okay, so you want me to come up to 6?
Yeah. All right. So
because 50, because we're at 50?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and do our gauge check.
Lights out, fuel at top of the gauge.
And give that carb heat a tug, if you would.
Verify carb heat on.
All right. And now we're going to go ahead and start turning base, and we'll start our descent here. So if we were going to a runway from far away, then we would be able to keep our base turn, and then we would start descending once we turn to final. But here we have to get it going in advance, because if we turn to final at 600 feet here, it'll be a little bit too high. So we just got to cheat it in. All right. And go ahead and use that right pedal as you need it to keep those trim strings lined up. All right. Looking good. So we're just a little bit high. Just let yourself keep coming down. Go ahead and start slowing yourself up as well. That'll give you more time to sort things out on your way in. All right, and now we're looking more like a normal approach angle. So just try to hold this all the way in. You'll need a little bit of up collective. There you go. Perfect. Now this is a good airspeed. Just hold this the rest of the way, and then you'll slow yourself down to 0 once you start getting up to the spot. Alright, so now this is when you slow down, you start feeling for those vibrations, then you hold on to those vibrations. There you go. So now just keep it coming forward, hold those vibrations. And now this is when you need that little bit smooth pull collective pedals to compensate, but you're letting yourself settle downwards. There you go, nicely done.
Oh, thanks.
That's it. So the only difference between that time and last time is that last time, when you're up around 10 or 15 feet, you pulled a lot of collective to try and stop yourself up there.
Oh, okay.
Whereas that time you let it come all the way down in ground effects, and the whole process transitioned a lot smoother.
Okay.
And anything
Hayward Tower.
that you can do to make the helicopter behave smoothly for you benefits you in the long run, because that just makes it easier for you to manage.
70 approved, remain below 1,000 feet to over the field. Runway 2 left, group takeoff.
All right.
Takeoff at below 1,000 feet to
We're coming up on about 45 minutes.
28 left.
About all we're going to want to do for today. At least until we do. Once you get some more hours, your endurance will pick up.
Okay.
But typically people start to get tired around this time when they're sub 10 hours.
Okay.
So we'll do one last traffic pattern. This one will be back around to Meridian.
Okay.
So your radio call is going to be a little bit different this time. It's going to be Hayward Tower, helicopter 00 Hotel. Request left closed traffic to Meridian. And then they're going to come back and they're going to tell you cleared for takeoff spot Charlie. And when they give you our landing clearance, the spot that we use back there is Zulu Abeam Meridian. So it's taxiway Zulu, the taxiway that runs from here all the way back. And then Abeam just means next to and Meridian. So Zulu Abeam Meridian is that phrase that they use. And go ahead and make as much of that call as you can. If you need, I can jump in and make the read back for you. But our initial request will just be left closed traffic to Meridian.
Hayward Tower, helicopter 00 Hotel. At spot Charlie, request left closed traffic to Meridian.
Helicopter 00 Hotel, left closed traffic approved, spot Charlie, clear for takeoff.
Left closed traffic, spot Charlie to Meridian, 00 Hotel.
Spot Charlie, clear for takeoff, 00 Hotel. Alright, so that was the piece that he was looking for.
Oh, which one?
Is cleared for takeoff spot Charlie.
Oh, okay.
And we aren't cleared to land at Meridian yet. So that was the other, so go ahead and,
Human 588, contact Go Twin Tower 118.3 today.
Oh, okay, because he's going to give you clearance by
yeah, go ahead and get us going, because other people are going to take off too. But yeah, exactly. So there are two pieces to that. And usually with our spot Charlie call, he combines them both, cleared to take off and cleared to land all in one. Whereas here we've gotten our takeoff clearance, but we're going to wait for our landing clearance. So he told us clear for takeoff spot Charlie, make left closed traffic for Meridian.
Oh.
But he hasn't told us clear to land Zulu Beam Meridian yet.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. That's alright. Now you're doing well on the radios for it's your first day, right? Actually talking to him?
Yeah, first day on the radio.
Yeah, you're doing great. Now, learning the radios is a bit like learning another language.
Yeah.
There's a certain vocabulary and syntax that they use, and once you pick up on it, then it all makes sense. But it's hard to understand until that clicks in your head. And it takes different people different amounts of time.
Taxiway Zulu Beam Meridian, clear to land.
Zulu Beam Meridian, clear to land, 00 Hotel. All right, so that's when we got our landing clearance. I just read that back to him. All right, let's do our downwind checks here.
Okay, lights out, top of 3 in the green, fuel, RP is pulled.
All right, and we're going to
come down a little bit.
We're going to have to come down a lot more because instead of going down to spot Charlie, we're going down to there.
Okay.
So I'm going to come on and I'm just going to help push on the controls a little bit, but you're still flying. So I'm pushing down collective, and we're going to start our descent a little more rapidly here. Go ahead and keep us out a little bit wider so we have more room to work with. Alright, tell you what, this is a really wonky approach. I'm going to take the controls just to
You have controls.
make this happen a little bit more smoothly. Yeah, this is not an approach to learn on. Alright.
That's more of a quick stop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, almost like an auto rotation, just a little bit different. Alright, and I'll park this just because we're going into a little bit of a confined area. So I have the controls.
You have controls.
Alright. So we'll throttle down to 75. I'll hand everything off back to you. You have the controls.
Okay, I have control.
You have the controls. So we'll leave that at 75. Frictions come on first thing to start with.
Okay, cyclic friction on, collective frictions on.
Yeah, collective friction's on. Go ahead and pin the pedals with one foot so that the helicopter can't go anywhere on us. And now we'll start the checklist.
Okay, friction on throttle. 75. Clutch switch.
Clutch switch not yet. So the next thing we're going to wait for is CHT, stands for cylinder head temperature.
Okay.
So we're waiting for two things. We're waiting for 2 minutes on the clock, so we're looking for 52. And we're also looking for 300 on here. 300 you'll notice isn't actually marked, but about a third of the way between 200 and 350 is where that is. Or you can use the bottom of the H on the HD temperature there.
Okay.
So you can see we're already pretty close. We're just going to wait for our 2 minutes.
Well, so maybe a third. So I mean, like
Yeah.
a third of the way from the middle to the.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then help that happen quicker.
Well,
go ahead.
or we'll go wait for 2 minutes too.
Yeah, wait for 2 minutes. So,
Turn the carb.
yeah, go and push that carb
Okay,
bead down, and we can lock it.
that.
Yeah, so it's an and. So you need 300 there and 2 minutes. Usually one will happen before the other.
Okay,
Just
but
wait.
still.
Yeah, we wait for both.
Okay.
It's pretty uncommon for it to not have hit 300 by the time we reach 2 minutes, save for just super hot days. If you've been working the helicopter real hard, sometimes it'll take longer for it to cool down. All right, let's see if we can adjust the volume on your headset. I'm gonna click over to ATIS.
1749er Zulu observation. Wind 270.
And then go ahead and see if those adjust at all.
Sky clear. Temperature 17. 2.06.
Yeah, there was a couple more clicks to the.
30.
Okay, is it better now?
Yeah.
All right.
Visual approach run.
All right, that should help you out too, talking to tower. All right, so let's read ahead as to what we're going to do next. We got about.
Okay, so when that goes, then we'll disengage the clutch.
Yeah, disengage the clutch and roll the throttle to idle as well.
Okay.
Those two things happen at the same time.
Okay. Oh, okay. Close the throttle and disengage.
Yeah. All right, so we got us a couple more seconds. Go ahead and do that now. So we'll lift that up, clutch disengage, and throttle all the way down to idle. Now we're waiting for another 30 seconds before we pull the mixture. And it doesn't say on this.
Oh, I see. You don't have to go to the detent because it's
Yeah,
already
exactly.
down.
Yeah, because the detent, it doesn't actually get more idle than idle, but the detent is just helpful.
Oh, the detent's holding it at idle when the correlator works starts going.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
And it is
Just a
also
little more range.
Yeah, and for us, it's also helpful to be able to feel and verify that yes, it is actually at idle. We can
Okay.
feel against that spring. Yeah, just to make sure that it is where we think it is. All right, so we got our 30 seconds there.
Okay, so we can
Yeah,
pull-
so go ahead.
pull
yeah,
the mixture.
Yeah, pull that mixture. So you're gonna push in that silver, pull up on the thing. Engine will stop, and I'll go ahead and also turn off the alternator and the key.
Turn the master off at the same. Oh no, they won't have
The
it.
master will stay on, and we actually are still using electrical power. We can actuate the clutch, so that's still
Oh,
disengaging.
it's still disengaging.
Yeah,
Is that going to go off again? No.
it will go off again.
Oh, okay.
The light comes on when the clutch is moving. It doesn't say which way it's moving.
Oh,
we
okay.
can assume that right now it's loosening, but we don't
Okay.
actually know.
Okay. So now.
Oh yes, so there it is.
Now it's fully disengaged.
Now it's fully disengaged. Now we no longer need electrical power. Before we turn it off, let's turn off our avionics.
On
and
to the intercom.
This one here. Oh yeah, so this is, yeah, so go ahead and turn that off. That's our other radio and GPS. This is our intercom controls. So this is volume, so if I turn myself down, I get quieter. If I turn myself up, I get louder. This is the squelch here. So this is how loud you have to talk in order for it to start picking you up. So if we start turning it down, it will eventually stop picking us up as well.
Yeah.
Unless we're talking louder. And up here all the way at live, that would just broadcast continuously.
Okay.
And about just a little below live is best because that helps to cut out the helicopter sounds when we're not talking, but then also picks up our voice.
Okay.
The only other switch on here is the pilot isolate switch. What this switch does in this helicopter, there's only 2 seats. In a bigger helicopter, you'd have either pilot ISO, crew ISO, or all. What all this does is it separates the intercom system. So if you're flying and you have a passenger just will not shut up, they won't leave you alone, and you have to talk to ATC, you can flip that on and you won't hear me anymore.
Good.
And so, inversely, if you're ever flying around and suddenly you can't figure out why it is that you can't hear your passenger, most of the time it's because someone accidentally flipped that switch.
Okay. So when do you pull the rotor brake?
The rotor brake,
When it slows a little more.
right now is fine. You can pull the rotor brake no more than 10 pounds of pressure and just a couple seconds at a time. You don't want to do it sooner than 30 seconds after you pull the mixture. It's been a lot longer than that. And the reason you're pulling gently is just because it's just rubber pads clamping down on the drive shaft.
You don't wear everything.
Yeah, you'll wear it out and the whole thing will get dried out and caked up if you do too much. But this is plenty slow, so go ahead and let it come around, and we'll try and stop it at the 12 o'clock. All right.
Okay, and turn the master off now.
Yeah, master off and then strobe off as well. The strobe is one that stays on anytime the blue